Hi, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net and you're watching the vlog for March 28, 2018. So today I want to cover a quick personal slash music update regarding my own album and performance. And secondly, I want to get into a lesson for more intermediate and advanced players on how to use secondary dominant and use the concepts of tonicization. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I'll see you there. Today's video is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easier to create websites that look amazing in minutes, so you can head over there right now, go to Marc-Andre Seguin, that's my name, .com, no dash, no nothing, and you can see this website I created in about 18 minutes, including selling my brand new album. It's a digital album, so Bandzoogle makes it easy to sell your music, even your merch, commission-free. So you can head over there right now and see my albums for sale. It's connected to my PayPal account and it just gets deposited. They don't take a quote. You can manage your fans' mailing list, so you can contact your fan through there. It can connect to other technologies like Twitter, Instagram, or even your SoundCloud account. And last but not least, they have a team of musician-friendly support team. So I was in touch with the guys in Montreal. Thank you guys, it's awesome. So of course Bandzoogle is a paid service, and since you're watching this as a subscriber, you can get your first 30-day trial absolutely free, and then you can get 15% discount by using the coupon code you find in the description of this YouTube video. The coupon code will give you 15% over your first year subscription, so head over there. It's really great. So now for lesson and update time. Okay, first a quick update. It's not, I like to make videos that can stay on YouTube forever. This one is pretty stuck in time, so you probably have seen my album, as I was mentioning in the Bandzoogle sponsor. It's called Second Chances, and it's now live on Marc-Andre Seguin, my name.com. I'm really happy with it. We're going to do a live launch recording, kind of play for people and say, oh, this is the official thing. And this is going to take place in Montreal at Resonance Cafe on Parc du Parc, I guess. It's on let's do that again. It's on May 25th, and concerts are pretty early, so I think it starts around 7 or 8. Make sure you can reserve your spots, or you can call ahead, or even you can write a comment here or send me an email and see if we have a jazzguitarlessons.net fan club. We can either grab a coffee or talk after or something like that. Good. So that's it for the update. I think I've mentioned the album in previous vlogs, and I'm really happy with it. It's a trio thing. For the launch, we'll have the privilege of having Frank Lozano, tenor saxophone player extraordinaire. Like, he's a monster player, and I'm privileged, honored to be playing alongside with him. So we'll steamroll some of my tunes, and we'll play a few standards and have a few surprises for you guys. So hope to see you there. If you can make it, please please leave a comment here. Or if you can or can't make it, just let me know. And I think I'll try to get video equipment so we can capture it, either do a webcast, like a live stream of the event, or I can put this on the website at a later time. Okay, now for lesson time. So there's a little bit of thinking I got, behind producing another lesson. We have hands-on lessons that are released on a regular basis. You can watch this on the channel, but just as a ad hoc, unscripted lesson of things I see people struggling with and I teach in private lessons, we'll cover the topic of secondary dominance. You can see this, the ultimate no-nonsense guide to jazz harmony, something like that. It's on the blog. And there's a few things. So generally, I don't do these things where I talk to more advanced and intermediate players about theory and such, but there's one thing I see that's a little breaking point for a lot of people, and it's identifying chords that are not in the key and making sure we can use them to our advantage. So I'll give you an example. What if we're in the key of C major? And we see a G7 chord, we won't have a problem with that because it's a 5 chord. So it's 2, 5, 1, right? And if we see a chord right before the G that is a D7 or D9, so not minor, people will tend to go, well, it doesn't belong in key, but a lot of tunes have that, like, take the A train. So this is, in this case, it's a D7 sharp 11. So it really does belong there, and its role is 5 of 5. So it's a 5 chord of the G7 chord, right? So I think there's a lot to be gained from that, from context, and to scratching your head a little bit and asking yourself what the best scale to use is and how you can make this resolution sound good and to make it happen. So I'll give you the example of this one I was covering in a private lesson last night. And the best scale choice that makes it simple and to cover the melody note too is using a melodic minor. So the scale is, so it's C major with an F sharp and a G sharp. So F, F sharp, G, G sharp. And it works because it has the sharp 11 in it. Right. So it's worth looking into these things and not necessarily just play Mixolydian over the D7 and things like that, or to take things case by case. You try to get the bigger picture of how things fit together. Furthermore, I would encourage you to look into how you can have a secondary 2-5 even. So I forget which tune this is from, but there's a context where, say we're in C major, once again, the people's key. And from the C major, we go to a D minor of some sort. I don't even know, might be D minor 7, to say. So whether it's written on the chart or not, you can still do a minor 2-5 to your D. So E minor 7 flat 5, A7, D7. And the reason behind this is, well, it pulls towards there, and that's a target. And so this is my point, is this, the reason I'm shooting this video today is I will see a lot of people looking at a song and think it is very complicated because we're in C major and the first chord they see is E minor 7 flat 5. Like, well, how does it relate? Well, if you think of E minor 7 flat 5, the A7 being in the key of D, that, well, D is just the 2 chord we're aiming to. So imagine you're starting 2, 5, and then 1. So it's not that far out. We're back cycling to it, but remember, you could do this with any component of a key. So basically, I'm asking you to stretch your understanding of chords in key. Of course, you know there's C, there's D, there's E, there's F, there's D. You know your diatonic chords, but can you navigate as easily when we make a cadence, a secondary 2-5 or tonicization of that chord? So we have the E chord. This guy, well, F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7 to E minor. And you're like, this is not in C, but it's totally in C if that E minor is used in the context of C. And even if the chord is not written on the chart, before your E, you can, you can use this 2-5, you can use it within your line, even if it's not written, or if it's written, it might mean that there's an implied E. And sometimes, so I'll finish with one last example. People play Stella by Starlight in the key of B flat. So we go first chord, E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, right? People look at the E minor 7 flat 5 and say, oh, this is a complicated song. We're in the key of B flat. And we're starting to try down higher. It's not that complicated if you consider, you're like, well, look at that. And I think I've used this example over in the podcast and blog posts. This sequence, if you analyze it, it's just wanting to go to D minor. D minor is not happening. Because if you know your Stella by Starlight, it's a C minor to an F. Which doesn't matter. It's just how the composer decided to, accompany the melody, and that's how jazz people started to play it, whatever. So if you say, well, instead of freaking out and playing it, E minor 7 arpeggio, E minor 7 flat 5, and then shedding, which scale, this low Korean scale, or this is that, and then the A7 comes, and you're like, oh my god, it's an altered, I have to play the altered scale or diminish something, and then, so you can relax actually and think of E minor 7 flat 5, A7 as D harmonic minor. Because that's where it's pointing to. That's like, hey, look, we have a hint that we're going to D minor. And people will say D minor is not related. Well, the song is in B flat major. And so you know your diatonic chords. 1, 2, 3. There you go. There's your D minor. So for your first 2 or 3 bars of Stella by Starlight, you can solo thinking of and it doesn't sound half bad. In fact, I'll play the first few bars. 1, 2, 3. It works. Right, so yeah, I would like to quote the guy who wrote The Advancing Guitarist, Mick Goodrick, and said, I have nothing left to say on the subject, whatever that subject was. So basically that's it. It's an indication to let you know, maybe take a few steps back in looking at harmony, and instead of acting like everything is like a single thing, that it's a single target, maybe if you take a step back, it becomes one big thing, because ultimately Stella by Starlight is in B flat. Of course, we're stretching the elastic band a little bit by going E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, because it's thinking of D minor. D minor is the 3 chord, but the 3 chord is very strongly related to the 1 chord. They share 3 notes. Convince yourself of that, please. Go and check it out. They have 3. So B flat major 7 shares 3 notes with D minor 7. Write it down on paper. It's a fact. So does G minor 7. The 6, the 1, and the 3, they all kind of act like tonic chords in a key. And furthermore, imagine if you started to consider this and also consider tritone substitutes of each. So if you consider this guy as being a substitute for B flat minor 7 to E flat 7. So now each chord in the key has a potential 2-5 that would be implicit or explicit, and have the accompanying tritone sub for that. Of course, if you don't know about tritone sub, there's a great page on the website. It's a classic. It's been there for like 10 years. It's, I think, chord substitution survival guide, something like that. On that note, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Always talking too fast on the camera. I hope this lesson was useful for you, intermediate and advanced players. And I hope to see you on May 25th, 2018. Please don't show up next year and comment on this video and go, hey, man, this 2018 at Resonance Cafe. Hope to see you there, and I'll see you soon on the website. Take care.